Okay, so this is my full review on Beats Audio in general. I'd like to start by saying that I completely assure you this isn't you're just mad because you can't afford them issue. I own headphones that cost the same amount as the Beats Solo. If money was the issue, I would have just bought the Beats Solo. The issue is that Beats are the worst headphones you can buy. I have heard all models of Beats several times, and I've found that they're all an incredibly horrible value. Their bass is very overpowered and heavy, and yet also extremely muddy. Their mids and treble are both extremely lacking, and the bass doesn't sound nearly as good as it possibly could. One of many problems with the Beats is that they claim to allow a person to hear music the way it was meant to be heard. They say that artists spend a lot of time in the studio and that people just aren't hearing all the details they spent that time making, and that these headphones will allow a person to hear the music the way the artist intended. I assure you this isn't true, and here's why. The bass in all models of Beats is far too accentuated. There's way too much emphasis on the bass in these headphones, which isn't necessarily bad in theory, but they're doing it wrong. Not only is the bass far too emphasized, but even the bass actually has quite poor quality. The bass isn't good, there's just a lot of it. It takes a lot of nerve to advertise headphones claiming that they allow you to hear the music it was the way it was meant to be heard, and then drastically change the equalization of the headphones so that you hear the music in a way that is definitely very far from the way it was meant to be heard. I feel like they also like to use fancy words, if you will, and they're in their advertisements, so that they sound more like they really know what they're talking about, and or so that their demographic feels smarter and thus more likely to make the choice about the headphones without even googling up some reviews from sites that know what they're talking about. For example, on their site they say Powerbeats earphones are especially designed to pump clear bass at any volume while letting in ambient noise. Well, in reality, this pretty much just means they play loud and they have holes poked in the back so you can hear other stuff too. I don't find that particularly impressive. Another huge problem with Beats is that they market them very aggressively, paying almost every popular celebrity to wear them in public. This means that many people are convinced that Beats are actually studio quality and that these celebrities make their music in the studio and listen to music with them, which most certainly is not true. Not even Dre himself would ever even think about using Beats in the studio because he's an actual legitimate musician and he knows that they are not studio quality headphones. Uh, Studio quality headphones have a very flat frequency response, meaning that they do not have anything emphasized, and the treble, mid-range, and bass are all very neutral in the way that they're heard. They're also actually high quality, so everything that is heard is very clear and enjoyable, not muffled and or muddy like with the Beats. The Beats Studio also has active noise cancellation, which means that they give extra isolation from outside noise, but also means that they require batteries. I've found that the ANC of the Beats Studio is some of the worst you can get, especially in their price range. They can't play any music at all without batteries, and then their noise cancellation is not only poor and ineffective, especially when compared to others in their own price range, but also causes a high-pitched squealing noise to constantly be going on when you're listening to anything through them. Studio headphones don't need active noise cancellation, don't have a lot of bass, don't have terrible muffled mids and highs, and most certainly do not have bloated, aggressive one-note bass. And frankly, I have no idea why this pair of headphones was named the Studio. The marketing with Beats is very deceitful and downright nefarious, if you ask me, because they act as if their headphones are made for audiophiles and professionals, and that they know what they're, and they know that the headphones are actually very cheaply made and sound bad. They put quite an effort into hiding the specs of their headphones because they know that anybody who knows anything about audio will look for the specs, and if they're not any good, which for the Beats they are not, they will avoid them. The Beats Solo and Studio both are made of very cheap plastic and are generally quite poorly built, and have a nasty little habit of cracking when you do such extreme things to them, like, I don't know, putting them on. Most models of Beats, with the only exception being the Pro, are just made of cheapo plastic and glued together in a Chinese sweatshop. Price is another issue here. While I have no problem with people spending money on headphones, I would want them to at least be good and not just be the pretty things that all the celebrities are being paid to wear around their neck all day. Beats are constantly compared to iPod earbuds, and not to other headphones in their own price range. This is a comparison normally made by people who have no idea that headphones other than iPod earbuds, Skullcandy, and Beats exist. However, this is still quite an unfair comparison. Every model of Beats is the very worst you can get in their price range, at least in my opinion. A few headphones I recommend instead of Beats are the well, for one, the $150 Audio-Technica ATH-M50, which is what I have for my over-ear headphones. Uh, and then the $199 Shure SRH 849 is also very good. Then the $349 Denon AHD2000, or the $349 AKG K550. Then there's the $299 Philips Fidelio L1. That's an open-backed headphone, so it won't offer any isolation, but it will sound significantly better than most other closed-back headphones that cost even more. So you should use headphones like that one only for home listening. But if you only listen at home, I would recommend the Fidelio above any other headphones on this list. Then there are the $150 Skullcandy Aviator and the $300 Skullcandy Mixmaster. Other than those two, avoid all Skullcandy products, and note that those two are probably the least recommendable ones on that list. That's just to name a few good ones. And all of the headphones that I just named are better than any model of the Beats headphones, be it Solo or Pro. I can get cheaper than that, but I just went for naming a few that I know of in the same price range. An in-ear that's better than any Beats in-ear is the $7 Monoprice 8 through 20. If you're looking for an IEM that is closer to the price of the Beats earbuds, I recommend the $80 Hi-Fi Man Re Zero for a very neutral headphone with very impressive treble, or the $100 Hi-Fi Man Re ZRO, which I currently own. That's what I'm using right now. For a very clear sound. It's very neutral, and it has a slightly more emphasized bass. Then there's the Spider Cable Real Voice for around $90 for a focus on vocals, or if you're a bit of a bass head, the $100 Shure SE215. Focusing on bass in full-sized headphones, one might want to look into the Sony XB Extra Bass series. They're $80, but oftentimes sold for less. MDR XB500 may be the best value of any of those headphones, but they're all very good value. At $80, it also sounds better than any model of Beats. This means with treble, mids, and bass. The Sony XB series is also very comfortable, which is definitely a plus. Active noise cancellation is a feature that is only in the Beats Studio, and it's not very preferable because just having ANC causes a significant decrease in sound quality as well as making your headphones require batteries. But if you live in a very noisy place and or are often trying to listen to music on public transportation like a subway or bus and find yourself unable to listen to it because of how noisy your surroundings are, ANC headphones may be helpful. If you find it absolutely necessary to have ANC headphones, then I would personally recommend the Bose Quiet Comfort series. They've pretty much mastered the isolation in those headphones, and they offer some very impressive noise cancellation as well. And they can keep you from hearing a whole lot of outside noise. Other than the Quiet Comfort series, though, never buy Bose products. Bose is very overhyped, overrated, and overpriced. They may not be as bad as Beats. I mean, if you ask me, Beats are just the worst when it comes to deceitful marketing, but they're also guilty of selling their headphones for much more than they're really worth. Avoid Beats, Bose, other than Quiet Comfort, and Skullcandy, other than the Aviator and Mixmaster. And even then, make sure you absolutely can't buy any of the other headphones I previously recommended instead. And if you want to look into the headphones of a specific brand, I would look at Audio-Technica, AKG, and Sennheiser. In my mind, those are the big three, if you will, of audio. Thanks for listening, and I hope you learned a lot from this video. Spread the word and like this video, and send it to your friends, particularly the ones who are thinking of buying new headphones, whether or not they specifically have Beats in mind yet or not, as well as those who already own Beats and you want to make them mad. If you have questions or concerns, leave a comment below and I will try to get back to it as soon as possible. If you're an ignorant Beats owner who wants to throw a tantrum and yell at me because you don't want to feel like you made a bad choice in having your mommy and daddy buy you Beats instead of headphones that aren't completely terrible, go ahead and leave a comment so that you can get totally destroyed and look like a moron in a public argument. Also, make sure to pay a visit to the Beats by Dre Suck Facebook page, which I'll link below, and give it a like. Bye.